Some people like wide open spaces. Me, I decided to spend the day wedged inside lava tubes. But what I didn't expect to find was an underground ice room, ancient pictographs, golden ceilings, strange things growing in the darkness, and the most hands-on cave system I've ever explored. Stick around, not only will I share the travel tips I wish I knew before coming here, but we're also going to take you on a unique adventure through the Mushpot Cave. Welcome to Lava Beds National Monument, and today we're exploring caves. With over 900 caves to choose from, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. This is also a really cool site to check out some of the things above ground too. So let's get after it and go find some caves. Lava Beds National Monument is located in the northeast of California, just south of the Oregon border. As we drove through the high desert in the middle of nowhere, I prepared myself for what I thought would be a typical educational but not too adventurous day in a national park. I couldn't have been more wrong. As you walk in the visitor center, there's no shortage of history and information, especially about the fierce resistance of the Modoc people who held out way longer than anyone expected. But that's another story. Today, we're headed underground to explore a system of caves formed by rivers of hot lava, some of which are over 60,000 years old. But first things first, we need to pay our fee and get cave permits. This is pretty easy and free, but incredibly important to keep the bats safe. Yes, there are bats in caves. However, we didn't see any because they temporarily closed down caves that have roosting populations. And while some people are scared of them, the truth is humans are far more dangerous to bats. We are great at spreading a disease called white nose syndrome, which has been wreaking havoc on bat populations all across North America. It's caused by a fungus, and it can live on our clothes and shoes for over 2 years. It takes a special chemical to break down the spores. Getting a cave permit was as simple as learning about the problem and taking part in the solution by using a special shoe washing station. Don't worry, the fungus is not harmful to humans. While you're at the visitor center, it's a great time to load up on maps and the other information you need to explore the caves. But something I was surprised about is, tip 1, they loan out flashlights for free and they work really well. What's not free is the detailed maps for once you're inside the cave. Most are a simple out and back, but read the description, have a backup light, and don't get in a situation you can't crawl out of. Our first caves were right off the main loop. Intrigued by the name, we had to check out the Golden Dome. It starts with a steep climb down to the cave floor. The first thing we noticed was the temperature drop. These caves average a chilly 55 degrees year-round. As we walked through low ceilings and tight squeezes, we started to see some color on the walls. Then we made it to the Golden Dome, where all you could see was the reflecting gold color above. So where does the gold color come from? It's not a mineral, it's a hydrophobic bacteria, which is a fancy way to say the yellow bacteria doesn't like water and it repels it. This forms hanging beads of water that reflect like tiny little crystals and make for a spectacular show below the ground. But that wasn't the only thing alive down here. Check out this alien fungus. Fungus needs fertilizer to grow, and if I had to guess, I'd say a small mammal made a pit stop here and the fungus loved it. But then I saw something moving next to the fungus. It was small, almost translucent, and kind of looked like a bug. Obviously, it was a troglodytic dipleuran, a completely blind insect that uses 2 tails to feel its way around the dark. Then it was back to the surface where I learned something important. Tip 2, don't forget your sunnies. Your eyes will thank you when you leave the cave. Above ground, the high desert doesn't look like much, but if you look closely, there are beautiful wildflowers and a stunning, rugged landscape formed by rivers of dried lava. It also gives you a chance to warm up between caves. This short loop had so many caves to explore. Some were easy to walk through, others a bit more involved, and we hadn't even made it to the most famous ones. So we got back in the car, headed out to the Merrill Ice Cave in search of an underground skating rink. And of course, I decided not to bring my jacket, and it's a lot colder than the rest of the caves. And as we were walking down, I was like, oh, this is cool. They have nice little trails for us. And then it just drops straight down. This cave was freezing. You didn't even want to touch the rails, they were so cold. So we took the plunge deeper, darker, and colder, and when we got there, we all thought the same thing. Where's the ice? We made it to the ice cave, and we thought this epic entrance was gonna lead to one cool cave, and now here we are. It's cool, like physically cold. They call it an ice cave, but I think we're gonna need to rename it. Either the climate's changing or someone left the freezer door open for about 20 years. Next up, the Skull Cave. Hopefully, this one delivers on its name. The entrance was impressive, a massive opening into the earth that just keeps going back. This was probably the most popular cave we saw, and we ran into a ton of people. Originally, explorers found the remains of 2 humans, pronghorn and bighorn sheep. But what would we find? As we made the final descent, we found ice? Wait, we just went to the iceless ice cave. Oh, there it is. In the ice, you can see part of a skull from a bighorn sheep. Satisfied with our findings and ready to get away from the crowds, we climbed all those stairs back out and enjoyed the incredible views in this gigantic cave. Right next to the Skull Cave is the trail that takes you to the Big Painted Cave. And if you don't want crowds, go somewhere that requires a little effort. Most of the caves, you can just pull up at the parking lot, park, and then go inside. This one, we've got a little bit of ways to go. It's hot, it's exposed, and we get this beautiful desert. Eventually, we made it to the entrance. Not knowing what we would find, I hiked my flashlight out the entire distance, and the cave was completely lit up by the sun. Finding the pictographs was a bit tricky since they had become so faint over the years. But once we found them, we saw all sorts of really cool symbols painted on the rocks, and still, nobody really knows what they mean. We made it to the end of the cave, and right before we were about to turn around, I noticed something hidden underneath some rocks. The cave kept going, and I had to explore. The entrance was super tight, and if I lost my footing, there was a nasty fall down. It was at this moment I was immediately happy that I had lugged my flashlight all this way. To my surprise, the small entrance opened up into a large room, and on the floor of the cave, water with ice underneath. This spot is a vital watering hole for animals and the people who once lived here. As the ice melts during the summer, it provides a steady water source until the rains come. Once I was done with my adventure, I climbed my way back out and prepared for our final and most challenging cave. Just kidding. The Mushpot Cave is by far the easiest cave. It has a smooth path, lights, and interpretive signage. And here is the full tour in 15 seconds. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised by this national monument. There's something for everyone and everything is hands-on. There's no way to explore it all in one day. You can find easy trails, wide open caves, or you can spend hours underground squeezing through tight passages, hoping your light doesn't run out of battery. Speaking of which, here's your final tip. When you're in a cave, one of the coolest things that you have to do is experience complete darkness. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Oh man, that was an awesome adventure in Lava Beds National Monument. Honestly, we saw some really cool caves today. I think the Big Painted Cave was my favorite, and just going through that last little crevasse and checking out the frozen water. Don't forget to like and subscribe, follow us for more fun stuff, and leave a comment. Let us know, what are your favorite national parks? If you like this cave video, maybe you'll like the adventure we had in Puerto Rico's caves, where it was even more wild with all sorts of creatures crawling inside. See you next time. Stay wild.